Good afternoon. You are watching City News 24/7. I'm Melanie Ng. Good to be with you this afternoon. Well, social media giants Meta, Snapchat, and TikTok, they are finding themselves at the center of a lawsuit launched by 4 Ontario school boards, including in Toronto. Let's bring in our Faiza Amin on this story. It is getting a lot of traction from both sides. Good afternoon to you, Faiza.
Melanie, we're talking about the biggest school boards joining forces here. You have the Toronto Catholic District School Boards, public school boards in Peel, Ottawa, and in Toronto. We're inside TDSB headquarters today, and together they're seeking $4.5 billion against the parent companies of some of the biggest social media apps. We're talking Facebook and Instagram, which is owned by Meta, Snapchat, as well as TikTok. So I'm joined now by Rachel Chernos-Lynn, the chair of the TDSB here. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start first about the decision to take legal action and why team up with these 3 other school boards.
So, we have been talking about what we're seeing in classrooms and what our educators have been noticing and experiencing over the past couple of years, and it's been getting significantly worse and worse and worse. And, we just have decided that enough is enough. We cannot stand by and see the challenge to student mental health, well-being, the harms being done to children, and the impact it's having on student success and student well-being, and not do anything about it.
Tell me specifically why these social media apps are responsible for the harms you say are being caused onto students. What are they doing exactly?
So what we've learned is that these social media giants have created tech platforms that knowingly have knowingly created platforms with addictive properties, and they are marketed to children, to youth, and we're seeing the impacts of that in our classrooms each and every day. They may not be using those in class, but they are using them outside of school at very high rates. We know, the statistics tell us, and I'd be happy to share some with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So, over 45% of students are spending over 5 hours a day on social media. Here's another one. On Instagram, there was an internal poll they did. Students were over 21%, almost 22%, were experiencing cyberbullying once in every 7 days. That is a shocking statistic, and the impact that that's having on student mental health and well-being, we're seeing huge impacts in our classroom, things like emotional dysregulation, anxiety, depression, but we're also seeing kids who are having trouble focusing, and that's having a real impact on the ability of our educators to maintain a classroom where they can really get through lesson plans, and we're having to spend an awful lot on extra resources to ensure that our students are supported. So really what we're looking for from these social media giants is that they take accountability for what they've created and that they be part of the solution.
Listen, this is always going to be a controversial topic, especially when you're talking about social media and kids in the same sentence. Some may view this lawsuit as extreme here and ask the question of what other actions or measures were taken before this lawsuit here, and why is this responsibility solely on these social media companies?
So look, here at the Toronto District School Board, we've been talking about what we can do in terms of creating places where we optimize the learning for our students and those in our care. But what's really happening here is that these companies have created products that are addictive, that are compulsive, and they have played a significant role in this that is affecting students and harming them in innumerable ways. And so it's really up to us as the stewards of education and as people who are responsible for well-being and learning of students to stand up and say, you need to be a part of the solution, you need to take accountability, and we can't wait any longer. The time has come.
It seems like Premier Doug Ford is also one of those critics here. He's questioning how you're getting the money to pay the lawyers for this lawsuit, how much it's going to cost the public. And it also comes at a time where the TDSB is looking over its budget and facing at least a $20 million deficit. What do you say to that?
Well, I can assure you that there is no taxpayer dollars being spent on this lawsuit. This is based on contingency fees by lawyers, so this is really a non-issue the way I look at it. And this is really us being focused on student academic achievement and success and making sure that we are providing for students to be able to do that. And the way we need to really think about this is that it is in the best interest of our students and their academic success to see these social media companies take accountability, and not only on a in terms of remuneration for the cause, for the effects of everything they've done, but also to rectify the problem. They need to fix these apps so that they're not harmful to students. So we're also looking for that. And really the overarching thing, and the thing I really want you to know, is that this really at its core is about student success, student well-being, and the future of our young people.
Really quickly, what's the timeline here for this lawsuit?
Well, you know, this is in the courts now, and it will wend its way through that, and obviously it may not be super speedy, but we are looking forward to engaging in that.
Okay, Rachel Chernoslin, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us on this extremely heavy topic that's going to be debated for days to come. As we mentioned here, Premier Ford in Ottawa also had plenty to say. Here's a part of his conversation with reporters.
We ban cell phones in the classroom, so I don't know what the kids are using, but I disagree with them. Let's focus on the core values of education. Let's focus on math and reading and writing. That's what we need to do, put all the resources into the kids. And I don't know, what are they spending on lawyer fees to go after these massive companies that have endless cash to fight this? So let's focus on the kids.
So the other big side of the story here is, what do these tech giants have to say? So we reached out to Meta, who's responsible for Facebook and Instagram. We did not hear back, as well as TikTok. No response just yet, but Snapchat did provide us with a statement saying in part, quote, while we will always have more work to do, we feel good about the role Snapchat plays in helping close friends feel connected, happy, and prepared as they face the many challenges of adolescence. So Mel, we will keep you in the loop when it comes to what both Meta and TikTok have to say. You can stay with City News 24/7.
Faiza, thank you so much for that. And as you mentioned there are a lot of angles to this story. One of them mentioned even by the Premier there are the legalities around it. And so coming up later on in the show, we will be speaking to the head litigator involved in this and how this process is going to all play out. Thank you so much for that. And again, stay tuned for Faiza with more.